Now addition of vectors. So in the addition of vector we will use here two methods. One is the law of parallelogram. So see the law of parallelogram. In the law of parallelogram, if two vectors are acting at a point, if two vectors are acting at a point and a parallelogram has been made from that point, and parallelogram has been made at that point, considering the two vectors are at two sides of a parallelogram, considering that vectors are sides of a parallelogram, then the diagonal of that parallelogram, parallelogram gives the resultant vector. See the meaning of this point. Let this is a point. Let at point P two vectors are acting. One is here A, another is B, and these two vectors are making an angle theta, and we want the resultant of A plus B. Suppose we want vector R, which is the sum of vector A and B. So according to law of parallelogram, if these two are considered as a parallelogram, sides of a parallelogram, and we construct the complete parallelogram, see like this. If we construct the complete parallelogram extending this equal to this and then this equal to this, so this will be the resultant R. This is the meaning of law of parallelogram. So how to solve such condition here? See. So in fact, according to definition of law of parallelogram, this R is the resultant of vector A and B. But how to determine the value of R? So this is nothing, it is the vector R magnitude, and this is nothing, this is the magnitude of vector A. So if further we are constructing here, so you will get like this. This is the vector A, this is vector B, and this angle your theta. So what I am doing here, as this is equal to B, so I am making here, this is your mod of B, and then this angle will be your also theta, and this is the resultant vector R. See. Now in this triangle, in this whole triangle, if we are using law of Pythagoras theorem, this your B, so this will be written as mod B sin theta, and this is your mod B cos theta, and this is already your mod A. So, applying theorem of Pythagoras, so r square is equal to this square plus this square. So, A plus B cos theta whole square plus B sin theta whole square. So, when we are simplifying, we will get A square plus B square plus 2AB cos theta. So, this is the value of r, like this. In this manner, we can get the resultant vector r. And if we want to see the direction, see, this is the resultant vector r. Let this angle your alpha. So, we can say from this triangle tan alpha is this by this. This is your mod B sin theta, and this is the base, which is equal to your mod A plus mod B cos theta. So, we can say alpha is equal to your tan inverse mod B sin theta by mod A plus mod B cos theta. So, finally, we can say the magnitude of the vector r is given by this relation, where theta is the angle between the vector A and B, and alpha is the angle made by the resultant vector with the vector A. So, theta is the angle between vector A and B, like this. So, this is the method by which we can add two vectors, and that method is called your law of parallelogram. So, see one example, from that we can get much more better idea. See, another method, law of triangle. Law of triangle. So, if two vectors are acting at a point, then if we are making a triangle considering those two vectors, triangle considering those vectors are sides of a triangle, then opposite to third side of a triangle, opposite to third side of a triangle, third side of that triangle, gives the direction and magnitude of resultant vector, gives the direction and magnitude of resultant vector. Let this is a point P, and here there are two vectors A and B is acting, and these two are making an angle theta. So, according to this, if we are making a triangle considering these two as the sides of a triangle, see like that, vector A and vector B making angle theta, this is vector B and this is making angle theta. So, this will be a vector C. So, according to this law of triangle, then opposite to third side you see, opposite to that means in that direction. So, vector R is your minus of vector C, and R we want to calculate here. R is nothing, A plus B. So, we can say this resultant R will be the R is equal to A plus B and which is equal to your minus C. So, in fact, from here if we are looking, so A plus B plus C is equal to your 0. So, resultant of A plus B is your opposite to this vector your C. This is the meaning of law of triangle. So, see, from the law of triangle, we can write if three vectors are a cyclic vector, if three vectors are a cyclic vectors, it means vector A, vector B and vector C. So, angle opposite to vector A let alpha, opposite to B angle your beta, opposite to C let angle your gamma. So, we can write here from law of triangle, mod A by sin alpha equal to your mod B by sin beta equal to your mod C by sin gamma. This is called your Lami's theorem, and this theorem we can use while we are solving certain problems. Now, see few example based on law of triangle and parallelogram law of method. See one of the examples. See, there are two forces acting on a particle. There are two forces F1 5 Newton and F2 is let 3 Newton is acting on a particle at the same point, making an angle 60 degree with each other. Find the resultant force on a particle. Resultant force on a particle. This is the let question given here. So, this is the particle let here. On this one force F1 your 5 Newton, another force you can say F2 your 3 Newton, and this angle here your 60 degree. So, they are asking the resultant force. The resultant force R is nothing, vector F1 plus F2. So, as per the law of parallelogram, resultant force R somewhere it will be in this direction. And magnitude of force we know, mod R is your under root of A square plus B square plus 2AB cos theta. A square means here 5 square, B square here 3 square plus 2, 5 into 3 into cos 60. So, see from here 25 plus 9 cos 60 1 by 3, this will be your 15. So, this is your root 49. So, mod R is your 7 Newton. So, net force on the particle is 7 Newton, and if they are asking about the direction of force, so as per the law of parallelogram, we can say here tan alpha for direction. Tan alpha is your this is your nothing F2 sin 60 by F1 plus F2 cos 60. F2 here your 3 sin 60 root 3 by 2. F1 your 5, F2 again here 3 cos 60 1 by 2. So, this is your 3 root 3 by 13. So, alpha is your tan inverse 3 root 3 by 13 like this. So, we can say the resultant force on a particle is 7 Newton, and that resultant force is making an angle tan inverse 3 root 3 by 13 from the force F1. So, this angle here your alpha means this angle alpha here, direct. Now, come to the another example. See another example. A particle is moving meter along north direction, then 15 meter along west direction, then 5 meter along south direction, finally it reaches at certain position, at certain point. Find the net displacement of particle. Net displacement of particle. See how to do this one. As it is given in the form of direction north, east, south, west, already we have suggested we can divide or we can assume first direction east, west, north, south as per the given condition here. A particle is moving 10 meter along north. So, let 10 meter we are defining with this here R1. This is 10 meter. Then 5 meter along south, then 15 meter along west. 15 is your along west, that we can say 15 meter. Then they are saying 5 meter along south, south means downside, 5 meter along south, this is your R3. In fact, they are asking the position of the particle like this, R. So, R is nothing, this can be said here R1 plus R2 plus R3. So, here we have to resolve all values here. See. So, R1 plus R2 plus R3. So, R1 and R3 are in the opposite direction. So, R1 plus R3. R3 now, if R1 and R3 we are taking together and R2 separately. See, R1 plus R3. R1 plus R3 become your 5 meter north, 5 meter north plus R2 your 15 meter west. In fact, this is the actual R. So, see here, one vector your 5 meter north, one is your 5 meter, another your 15 meter, then this is the vector R. So, vector R is your root over 5 square plus 15 square, 5 square 25, 15 your 225. So, this will be a root 250. The mod R is equal to your 5 root 10 meter. So, this is the net displacement of R, and this let angle theta. So, tan theta here. So, tan theta is your 5 by 15 or theta is tan inverse 1 by 3. Then we can say the resultant displacement to your 5 root 10 meter and making an angle tan inverse 1 by 3 towards north. So, that is your north from west. This is the final answer. Like that we can solve the problem. Now, see another type of problem.